All right, this is incredibly important. Donald Trump essentially plunged the country into chaos last night after he unilaterally signed an executive order that abruptly cut off nearly all federal grant funding, which blindsided governors, blindsided lawmakers and officials all across the country, and now they're scrambling trying to figure out what to do as American citizens are confused. And I want to break down some of the implications that the mainstream media may not be talking about. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler channel, and let's just start here before I dig into the nitty-gritty. This video is going viral, and it's labeled, "My Reaction to DJT Taking the SNAP Benefits That My Kids and I Live Off Of at 10:30 p.m." Now, late last night, Trump did this, and many people have been confused today regarding their Medicaid portals, regarding SNAP benefits. We'll break all of that down, but let's just start here.
Somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now, because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we fucking get. I need somebody to please.
The insane part is the Trump admin doesn't even know the executive order they signed. They don't even know what it entails because, as Senator Brian Schatz said on my show today, he said this will backfire spectacularly. He then said it's flat illegal. Congress decides on spending, then the executive branch is supposed to execute the laws that we pass. So it's illegal, and I do believe it'll be overturned in court. He then said, the idea is to cause pain and chaos in the meantime, and it is definitely causing pain because he then said, on our show, I just got a text from a colleague that said the governor of their state is locked out of the Medicaid portal and the Head Start portal. If you want to follow the Adam Mockler Substack, it's in the link in the description below. But that is besides the point. Not only are people locked out of their Medicaid portal, but the Trump admin does not even know what their executive order entailed. Read this. Meals on Wheels, which is a program that helps feed Americans. Meals on Wheels America Spox on OMB pause. Quote, the uncertainty right now is creating chaos for local Meals on Wheels providers, not knowing whether they should be serving meals today, which unfortunately means seniors will panic not knowing where their next meals will come from. A senior admin official stresses to me, quote, no benefits to individuals are affected by this, funding specifically that violates the president's EOs. But Meals on Wheels isn't a direct benefit to individuals. It's grants that wind up at local charities. Again, the Trump admin doesn't understand the implications of their own executive order, and it's causing chaos. That's why very quickly a federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump admin's freeze on federal grants and loans after the Trump admin plunged the U.S. into panic and confusion and set the stage for a constitutional clash over control of taxpayer money. A U.S. District Attorney judge came in minutes before the funding freeze was scheduled to go into effect and blocked it, but Trump knew that was going to happen. The goal is for this to go up in higher and higher courts until it gets challenged at the Supreme Court, creating an official constitutional crisis. And his end goal is to have total unilateral control of taxpayer funds. But let's go back to Meals on Wheels. Somebody then said, this is the chaos caused by people who have no real clue about the way the federal government operates, deciding to, quote, move fast and break stuff, which is what the Trump admin is saying this entire time. So again, they are moving quickly, they are breaking stuff, but they have no real clue about the way the federal government operates, and that's showing. The people who wrote the executive order thinks Meals on Wheels isn't impacted because they don't understand the impact of the words that they wrote. And you know, the top comment says, it's almost as if governing is hard. And the thing is, I've said over and over on the show, Trump is good at selling himself or selling ideas to certain Americans. We can't deny that. He sells these grandiose ideas and way under-delivers, whether it's ending the wars on day one, mass deportations. He's good at that. But he's bad at the actual governing part, and that's the part that matters, and that's what we're seeing every single day. So this says, this is the problem. I've been calling budget experts asking what programs this funding pause language applies to. What is this language written for? Is it all discretionary? Is it Medicaid? But that requires deciphering the memo as if it were written by serious people who actually thought about and understand the law. So what Catherine Ramble is saying right here is, again, they don't even understand the very words they wrote, and that is causing chaos. Let me play you this clip of Senator Schumer.
Last night, President Trump plunged the country into chaos. Without a shred of warning, the Trump administration announced a halt to virtually all federal funds across the country. In an instant, Donald Trump has shut off billions, perhaps trillions of dollars that directly support states, cities, towns, schools, hospitals, small businesses, and most of all, American families. This is a dagger at the heart of the average American family in red states, in blue states, in cities, in suburbs, in rural areas. It is just outrageous. Funds for things like disaster assistance, local law enforcement, rural hospitals, aid to the elderly, food for people in need, all are on the chopping block.
All are on the chopping block. Let me play this video of Tim Kaine saying the same thing.
Because calls are coming in from around Virginia from child care centers that worry that their funding is being cut off to the center or to parents who need it to help their kids with child care, to universities that are doing medical research, who are, billing the research institutions like the NIH for the research they're doing, unsure whether they will get a reimbursement. I've got a nonprofit in Virginia that specializes in helping low-income people and seniors apply for Medicaid. Some of their staff are funded by a federal grant. They think those staffers will potentially lose their jobs. Veterans yesterday told me they had been unable to access the VA portal for even getting medical appointments at the VA. And I have a brand new VA clinic scheduled to open in Fredericksburg in February. The opening date is still scheduled, but they believe they're under a hiring freeze and can't hire the staff that they need to serve veterans in that population. This is all real-time worries coming.
Real-time worries coming in. And again, go check out my interview with Senator Brian Schatz earlier. I'll link it in the description below. Halfway through our interview, he gets a text, and the text literally says, some people can't access their Medicaid portal. And I wrote about it. The senator then gets a text on his phone in the middle of our interview. I just got a text from a colleague, he says, that said the governor of their state is locked out of the Medicaid portal and the Head Start portal. And then a top aide to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker comes out about an hour later and says they can't access this portal, only backing up what he says. Brian Schatz then says, the thing is like a full authoritarian move. I think that it will get bounced in federal court within a couple of days. That happened later that day. But in the meantime, we're trying to see whether there are Republicans who think Congress should not be completely eviscerated. Surprise, surprise. There aren't many Republicans who stood up. In fact, Manu Raju from CNN said, talked to a bunch of House Rs this morning in Doral about the White House move to freeze federal aid. Many are defending Trump, including the chairman of House Appropriations Committee, Tom Cole, who told me he doesn't have a problem with the White House decision to pause the aid when this is congressionally approved aid. Donald Trump unilaterally did this and is straight up illegal. It's an overreach of the executive branch, and Republicans are defending him. Quote, I think that's probably what you ought to do when you're coming in as a new admin. And then someone said, quote, I'm not a lawyer. I can't pontificate on what's legal. Dude, you're part of the legislative branch. You can at least try to pontificate. That's your job. That is straight up your job. Maxwell Frost said, just got off the phone with a medical provider who accepts Medicaid. Because they are shut out from the Medicaid portal, they may not be able to make payroll. They exclusively serve low-income Floridians. We also have a post from Swalwell that said, if you end the veteran suicide prevention program, you support veterans dying by suicide. Donald Trump supports veteran suicide. Call it what it is. Let me end it off with this clip of Jessica Tarlov calling out the other Fox News host.
I'd like to respond to that. Sandra, you said there's no confusion. There's widespread confusion in all 50 states across the country. I mean, Caroline Leavitt would have us believe that it's just a wild coincidence that they initiated an across-the-board freeze and the Medicaid portals have gone down everywhere. Do you know what that's like to go to log in, to access the system, and it's all shut down?
Well,
I don't think actually they are all back up.
Obamacare.
She also didn't.
Catherine Sebelius, remember her?
Yeah, I do, but she...
I can't believe one of the Fox hosts had the goal to say, but it's back up, right? Like Trump overnight plunged a lot of our healthcare services into the absolute darkness, and a federal judge had to temporarily block that. And then the portals go back up. And then they say on Fox News, everyone but Jessica Tarlov is saying, oh, but everything is working now, isn't it? That's not the point. Trump overnight tried to pause everything. Here's the thing. Don't be scared. Don't give in to the Donald Trump lies and fear tactics. A federal judge will pause this. We will be good. I'll continue to relentlessly cover it, and I love every single one of you. Drop a like, subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.